Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman is suing a major online retailer, the Chinese online shopping platform Temu. And the Education Department says it will release some frozen funds supporting after-school and summer programs.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. A happy Monday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee with you on this July 21st. We're just about at 6 o'clock this morning, and it is time for a check of our weather with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It's another first alert weather day as we expect more rounds of showers, thunderstorms to blast through the area. They could be strong, they could be severe, and they could also cause some flash flooding issues. We got a flood watch that will continue through the evening hours for the entire area, and there might be a little bit more that spills over into your Tuesday, though I do see a little bit of calming coming after that. Just gets a lot hotter around here. We're going to get that true sizzle going. But today, as far as that's concerned, I think what we're going to end up with is temperatures that will run in the 80s, very close to normal for this time of year. You're going to have that, and then you're going to have some showers, thunderstorms around. Notice it's a little warmer here across some of our southwestern counties, but you get here, you've got these low 80s and you've got some even upper 70s. Well, what's happening is I think we're going to get a better concentration of the rain through that area. I know it's just scattered, but I still think we've got a better beefed up chance for some of those showers and storms to pass through those skies. That's something we'll be watching very closely for you.
A man is dead after a crash in Logan County, West Virginia. The Logan County Sheriff's Department says Andrew Gavin Perry was thrown from his car when he hit a tractor trailer head on. Deputies say it happened on Route 119 near Airport Road in Logan. They say Perry was going northbound. He crossed into the southbound lanes and then hit the tractor trailer head on. He was taken to the hospital and later died from his injuries. A Pulaski County man arrested in May now faces new charges related to child sexual exploitation. Police say a juvenile victim was interviewed and reported a rape. Additional charges include third-degree rape and use of a minor under 16 in a sexual performance. Police say more charges are expected. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says a missing man was found safe. 66-year-old William Hoffman was last seen on Tuesday along Ruddy Bear Road off Hal Rogers Parkway in London. But the Sheriff's Office sent us an update Friday afternoon saying that he was located. WYMT is continuing its coverage of a story we first told you about a few weeks ago. An open records request revealed an improperly working boiler system might have been the cause of a Lexington apartment complex gas leak that killed one person and hospitalized 11 others. Mark Gross's brother, Samuel Lee, died after that gas leak at Oxford Circle Apartments.
When we heard about this, it just really broke me down. It's just something that really shouldn't, I don't think it should have happened.
Gross says he feels his brother's death could have been prevented if the building was up to code. The city of Lexington confirmed the building did not have CO detectors, which are not required because it was built before 2011. The fire department's inspection outlined several other code violations in addition to the boiler system. This building has been condemned for now, but the city says the property owner has 3 weeks to make the required repairs. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman is suing a major online retailer. The Chinese online shopping platform Temu is part of a lawsuit accusing them of stealing data. Coleman claims Temu unlawfully collects user data without their knowledge or consent, which then allows the Chinese government to access that data. The AG also accused Temu of stealing the intellectual property of U.S.-owned companies and Kentucky iconic brands like UK and U of L. Coleman's office also says Temu commits consumer fraud and even orders items customers never asked for. Congress has approved clawing back more than $1 billion in federal funding for public broadcasting. WUKY and other national public radio affiliates in Kentucky say this will have a big impact on them. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked to WUKY General Manager of Public Radio about the importance from telling in-depth stories about Kentucky.
Live from NPR News, I'm Lakshmi Singh.
When the news makes headline news, NPR tells its listeners Congress has cut some of its funding.
The move ends federal funding for NPR, PBS, and their member stations.
91.3 WUKY's general manager Brian Lane says the NPR affiliate receives roughly $140,000 in federal funding, making up 13% of the budget that supports 11 full-time employees.
Good morning and happy Friday. It is Rockin' Roots 91.3 WUKY. I'm DeBron Thomas.
Lane predicts the cuts will impact the radio station starting in October, but he does not foresee a reduction in staffing.
It doesn't change our directive at this point. It just adds a little bit more urgency to it.
Lane says the public radio station gives in-depth reporting on an array of topics that affect everyday people. The NPR network in Kentucky also has a system of repeater transmitter signals that can get information to what's known as news deserts about potential weather emergencies like incoming flood threats.
We feel that's a vital and important part to the community.
Some Republican lawmakers claim the network is left-leaning. Lane says they are right down the middle. Between songs, Thomas comments on the recent news from the Department of Justice recommending that former Louisville police officer Brett Hankinson, who was convicted in connection with the raid that led to the death of Breonna Taylor, serve 1 day in prison.
When a bullet that hit a piece of drywall received more justice than a human being.
Thomas plays a song that honors Breonna Taylor. Comments and songs like this raise some lawmakers' eyebrows.
We have that opportunity to play some of the music that commercial stations don't play. And I think our audience appreciates the frankness, the honesty of talking about these issues out loud.
Peace, love, and soul. I'm out.
In Lexington with photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
NPR CEO says funding cuts may make some NPR member stations cease operations. Congressman Rogers praised the House passage of the 2026 Defense Appropriations Act. He says it'll provide $831 billion to strengthen and modernize the military and provide a pay raise for U.S. troops and better benefits for families. It also supports America's Golden Dome defense. The Education Department says it will release some frozen funds supporting after-school and summer programs. It comes after nearly 24 states, including Kentucky, filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration in an effort to unfreeze the funding. They're challenging the administration's decision to put on hold disbursement of education funds tied to 6 programs. President Donald Trump spent his weekend golfing, but celebrated the 6-month mark of his second term with social media posts. New CBS News polling provides insight on the president's job approval ratings. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn reports on the latest developments from New York.
President Trump touted his accomplishments in his first 6 months in office, writing on social media, "We got a lot of good and great things done." A new CBS News poll finds 42% of Americans approve of the job he's doing, down from a high of 53% in February. The president has a different view of his approval ratings, posting his numbers have set records in the Republican Party since the, quote, Jeffrey Epstein hoax was exposed. A CBS poll shows 50% of Republicans are satisfied with his handling of the Epstein case. A further party breakdown finds 60% of MAGA Republicans are satisfied. Trump has pointed the finger at Democrats for the controversy.
The president blaming Democrats for this disaster, Jake, is like that CEO that got caught on camera blaming Coldplay.
Trump sued the Wall Street Journal Friday for its story claiming he sent a birthday message to Epstein that included a sketch of a naked woman. Trump denies it. In a separate post, the president also called for a name change for the Washington Commanders NFL team, saying the team should go back to its old name, which has been criticized as racist by some Native American groups. The Trump administration is working to keep the focus on trade, with August 1st a hard deadline for new tariffs, according to Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick.
You got to remember, this is going to pay off our deficit. This is going to make America stronger.
The CBS poll finds 60% of Americans oppose the tariff plans. The new rates are as high as 40% for some nations. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The Commerce Secretary also says some smaller countries will have a lower tariff rate of around 10%. Well, concerns are growing about the rise in West Nile virus cases throughout the country. So far this year, 50 cases of the mosquito-borne disease have been reported in at least 16 states. About half are described as severe. Even though it's a common disease, a new CDC study finds only 1 in 4 providers can correctly diagnose that virus.
The key here is to use mosquito repellents with DEET or Picaridin. It's the same kind of advice we give you really for any mosquito-borne illness, for ticks. It's not really any different. And I think the key here is to be aware that there's even West Nile in your areas.
Common symptoms of West Nile include fever, headache, body aches, and vomiting. In a small percentage of cases, symptoms can be severe, affecting the nervous system and leading to meningitis. But in general, cases are mild and they'll clear up in a few days to a week. Well, thanks for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning at 6:10.